Hello and welcome to a modern video. We're gonna we're gonna be doing something today for sure. Turns out that if you watch my previous video, you will know that the Modern Showcase Challenge happened this past weekend, and I played in it. I didn't do too well, but there was an Amulet decklist that got third place, and it was played by a Japanese player by the name of Gudig, as you can see here. And it's probably like the wildest, craziest deck list that I've seen in a long time. There are some really interesting things going on here, however. So let's go through this madness real quick. First of all, we are playing, of course, a Colossus version. This is what most people are playing. They're not really playing Karn, which I'm not super high on. I feel like I've talked about how I don't like this card very much in the main deck, and how I definitely don't like the second copy at all, besides as a sideboard card. So, I've talked about this at length, so I'm not going to focus on that too much. But Steve, STE, Sakura Trivelder, makes an appearance here after many, many years, and turns out that it's pretty genius. Like, I'm kind of upset that I didn't think of this before, but if everybody's trying to Blood Moon you, just play Steve. Like, it's so simple. It's so simple. Also, you can cast Steve from Cavern Souls, which makes it, it basically turns Cavern Souls into a straight up green source as far as this deck goes. The only thing that Cavern can't do now is to pay for Summoner's Pact, but yeah, you can cast your Explorers now using Cavern Souls, which is kind of sick. And then we also have access to an oldie but a goodie. Speaking of cards that have not been played in Amulet for a really long time, Colony Garden makes an appearance here. I don't honestly understand what's the point of Colony Garden. I imagine it has to do with Shadow, because it's honestly the only reason to be playing Colony Garden in the first place. Like, there's not very many decks where Colony is particularly useful. But yeah, here we are playing Colony Garden, particularly without Radiant Fountain, which is a card that it's missing from the 75. So definitely an interesting choice there. Besides that, everything makes a lot of sense. Like, those are the only crazy things going on in the main deck. When we get to the sideboard, though, things are getting spicy. Let's start by the fact that we have a basic island, and you're gonna wonder, like, wait, what? Why is there a basic island in the Amulet sideboard? Well, the answer for that is right here. You want to be bringing in Hydra Krasis against Blood Moon decks, and you have access to Steve, so you can actually go find your basic island with Steve, which will fix your mana under Blood Moon. Then you can cast the Krasis for hopefully a lot, and you can sort of beat Blood Moon matchups this way. I'm very interested in trying how this actually plays out, because my experience is that when your opponent's playing Blood Moon against you, sure, like, you could cast the Krasis, but you can cast the Krasis for like X equals 4, which is not that good, honestly, and it's still much smaller than a Murktide. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how this plays out, because I'm not super sold on it, particularly because we already have like 2 Colossus and 2 Krasis and an Ember Coolly Promising. Like, this seems like so much against 4-color. Like, there's like a little bit of an overload of 4-color hate, which I wonder if this is on purpose, and this is just a meta call where the original player just really wanted to hammer those 4-color players down. We're doing that at the risk of having less cards like Endurance, which are fantastic in a wide variety of matchups, including Living End, which is what ended up taking down the event. So I wonder how that's going to play out. The Spice doesn't stop there, though. We have 2 copies of Inferno Titan. Yes, actual Inferno Titan. This is, of course, a threat that we can cast under Blood Moon. It's kind of genius, and even when there's no Blood Moon in play, we can still fix the mana for Inferno Titan using Cavern of Souls. So that should not be that big of an issue. Again, I imagine that if you're playing against a competent Murktide player, they're going to, have a counter magic up by the time you get to 6 mana. So I still wonder how this actually plays out. But yeah, we're going to get to try it out in this league, hopefully. But yeah, if you're going to be answering Magus of the Moon, there's, few better ways to do it than just like putting a game-winning threat at the same time into play. So yeah, that's all the spice that we have going on for today. We're going to try this through a modern league, so hopefully we get paired against Murktide or decks that we can do some fun stuff against. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you for round number 1. Boom, we're ready. What are we doing here? Well, so we can go turn 1. Actually, I think I want to go turn 1 Amulet. That's going to give me more information. We go turn 1 Amulet. Turn 2 potentially Garen Brig into Expedition map. And then turn 3. I guess it's a turn 4 Titan with an Amulet. But if I find a bounce land, this is actually a turn 3. So I think that's fine with me. We can draw either bounce land or Azusa, and we can speed this thing up. Opponent moves to 4. And I am now officially terrified. We're gonna go turn 1 Amulet. And I guess this could be Tron, in which case I would be quite happy. So hopefully it's Tron. It is Tron, sweet, awesome. So we are so it's fine. Okay, so I guess I want to go Castle, and the question is, do I want to play the Gracer here? So I can play Expedition map here. Next turn, I guess it doesn't really change anything. So I guess playing out the Gracer is better now because it plays around my board and having a Chalice on 1, which could technically happen. So I think it's better for me to do this. So I guess we're playing against Eldrazi Tron, I would assume. Mace Mind. So yeah, so that probably means exactly Eldrazi Tron. So hopefully we find Primeval Titan. That would be great. Boros Garrison. It's a pretty unlucky top deck. It's a pretty unlucky top deck because we still need a green source to play, to activate Castle. So we're gonna have to crack Expedition map anyway. So since we're gonna have to crack Expedition map, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crack map now, and I'm gonna get a Growth Chamber, and then I'm going to bounce Boseiju and just say go. Swing for 0, of course. Putting down to 1 card. I'm not gonna blow up the Chalice until my opponent sends that, because I can blow it up and they can't play a second Chalice on 0 as long as I have the Chalice. Oh, so they have, okay. So we want to dodge, we really want to dodge Thought-Knot here, which is exactly what my opponent has here. That is bad. That's really bad. Well, I guess we get punished. So that happens. Expedition map. Okay. Does that mean that I'm gonna be blowing up this Maze Mind Tome? If I draw a card and it's exactly Summoner's Pact, I can't cast it prime time. I think I'm gonna risk it though. I'm just gonna pass here because I don't know yet what I'm gonna blow up. I mean, I know that it's not a Tron land. Steven makes an appearance. That's basically a game 4. It's not the worst, I guess. It's not the best either. Let's put this Boros Garrison in play, and I can still Boseiju. So I'm just gonna chill here. All right, opponent draws a card here. Makes sense. I think the only card that matters here really is Karn the Great Creator. Block there. Sack Steve. Get my forest. And see what my opponent's got going on over there. Okay, they have nothing, so really want to find Primeval Titan here. Or Summoner's Pact. That one counts. So, what's the best thing to do here? I can't kill my opponent, and I only have a single Boseiju in my deck. So what's the best way to approach this? So I think we're just gonna go for Valakut Haste here. I think so. Puts the most amount of stuff in play. Haste here. I could double strike, but that doesn't kill my opponent, so it doesn't really achieve anything for me. Tag with Primeval Titan, and I think we're just gonna go T-West and Saga. Yep. This puts the most amount of pressure on my opponent. I guess technically they could have Ulamog, and now I can't Boseiju, but it doesn't really matter to Boseiju them anymore. I'm probably going to save this Boseiju for specifically... I'm going to save this Boseiju for specifically Neon Bridge out of a Karn. Or this Chalice if I want to transmute this to Larry West. Ursa's Power Plant has been found. So I'm assuming that my opponent has another Ursa's Tower in hand. First order of business, of course, they're going to activate Mace Mind Tome. Gain 4. It's fine. Don't care about their life total, but we do care about them drawing a card because they can potentially find... I mean, I guess they can't cast Ulamog here, so it's fine. Of course. Oh, how could I ever beat that, huh? Oh, Matter Reshaper, never change. Oh, Matter Reshaper, never ever change. So here we have options. Here we have options. I think that what I want to do is find another Primeval Titan and haste it. I guess I'm not going to be able to activate Castle, because if I do that, I can't Boseiju it. So I have to watch out for that. So we need 1, 2, 3 to transmute. 1, 2, 3 to transmute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to play a Primeval Titan, and 2 to blow up the Chalice. So I think that's... I guess it's more than enough because I have this Amulet in hand. So make some mana from Garrison. Float blue. Bounce this. Make a mana. Transmute. Summoner's Pact. Boseiju the Chalice. Yep. Boseiju Chalice. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Summoner's Pact. 4 Primeval Titan. Primeval Titan. Leave a white mana floating. We're gonna get, I guess, Sanctuary Gruul Turf. What if we do Sanctuary Valakut? Can we haste and double strike? I think so. It's gonna be 3, 4, 6, 7. I guess I'm just gonna do Gruul Turf here. So stack my triggers, float my mana, haste this prime tap, float some more mana, make some more mana, double strike, bounce here, bounce matter. I guess I'm gonna bounce the stronghold so it doesn't get blown up. Attack with prime times. I guess this doesn't really matter. Let's get Colony Garden T West. Because value. Because I missed the plant so much. That's the only reason to get Colony Garden there. I'm gonna see what my opponent can do about this. Only a single Boseiju is kind of odd. So this should be exactly lethal, but there's also the possibility that my opponent could have Dismember, in which case they will be able to survive. But they don't. Alright, so game 2. Versus Eldrazi Tron. It's been a minute since I played this matchup. It's been a good old minute since I played this, so we want the extra Boseijus for sure. We can cut the Cavern of Souls there. Steve seems incredible in this matchup. I love Steve, so I think I want the Forces. We can cut a Colossus because I don't think it's great. Cut a Gracer. Sort of interested in one of these. Krasis is interesting. Krasis is super interesting. As a flying threat, it's also a great top deck. Let's try it. Let's try the Krasises. Krasi? However you're supposed to call that. Okay, so I think we want to cut a couple of Caverns and maybe a Summoner's Pact. Current Expedition map, it's also pretty reasonable because of Karn the Great Creator. We'll have 3 Boseijus, so... Alright, what do we got here? Look at this, it's a mulligan. It's a mulligan. I think this hand is pretty interesting. So a single bounce land and this hand pops off. I think I'm gonna keep this. Opponent did keep 7, which is obviously pretty scary. So they're gonna have turn 3 Tron, and we're gonna be on the draw. There's a bounce land though. So now that I know that I have the bounce land, I'm gonna lead on. It's an easy lead on Ursa Saga because that's gonna be my Amulet. Oh, they don't have turn 3 Tron? Excellent. We're looking very good then. Hey, look at that. It's a Jellyfish Hydra Beast, of course. Your favorite Jellyfish Hydra Beast. That's what's up. Eldrazi Temple. Okay, so they're gonna play a Thought Knots here, but that's not really doing anything. Which is one of the reasons why I did like this hand a fair bit. It's because like Thought Knot just doesn't do anything against this hand. Honestly, they should probably take the Dryad here. Particularly if they have like an answer to the other one, and they have like a Dismember or something. And I would like to draw another bounce land. That's probably the best draw that I can have here. Another bounce land would be fantastic. Barring that, Steve would be pretty good. And besides that, I think that just any non-bounce land would be good. Just any land is a good draw. But bounce land would be the best thing. Wow. Opponent did end up taking the Crazes, which is kind of mind-blowing, honestly. Okay, so here's an Amulet. 1, 2, 3. We can play both Dryads, and my opponent can't do anything about them because they are nowhere close to Tron. So this is great. Here, play my Dryad. Play this. Now we're going to bounce my Valakut. Bounce here. I guess this is a little bit risky potentially, because now if my opponent has like a Field of Ruin to blow this up, I don't have a bounce land anymore. So maybe I shouldn't have done. Maybe I shouldn't have played out the Chamber. Well, here, even if my opponent does get rid of my Summer Spectre or they have a Chalice, we can still Colossus. So they will need to have Thought Knot into Chalice. That would be a problem, potentially. That's in Ursa's Mine. Okay. Crack Map. Power Plant, which they can't play. Really? You're gonna... I mean, I'm not gonna block, but that's kind of funny that you would want to trade there. I guess maybe they have Dismember in hand. They do. Okay. Yeah, so I guess that's a good attack. They don't have a Chalice, though. So... Yep. Here's the Cavern of Giant. And here's Vesuva, Copy, and Simic Growth Chamber. And they do know about this Primeval Titan, so I guess this. Good prime time. Now we float the mana. Bounce this. Play Primeval Titan. We can get a bounce land here. I think it's better. We could get Crumbling Vestige to haste this prime time, but I think it's better to get Boros Garrison, because that puts a bounce land in my hand. And I'm gonna be able to trigger Valakut anyway. So this allows me for a cleaner kill. So let's say Jew Valakut, I guess. Sure. Alright. One is dead. Phew. Alright, yeah. Eldrazi Tron, good matchup. See you next round. Alright, round number 2, and boy, is this hand something. I'm gonna be keeping. This is one of the hands where Cultivator is actually good. So all it took is for us to have triple Amulet. You know, your average triple Amulet hand, of course. The best way to have your Cultivators be good. So let's go Amulet. I want to play Dryad. And I think I'm gonna play out the castle. I think I'm just playing out the castle here. Passing the turn. Because I don't want to be stuck if my Dryad gets killed. Spar's Headquarters is very scary because my opponent could now hold up Counterspell, and that's exactly what they're doing. So that kind of sucks. So now I guess I'm so far ahead that I have enough time to do this, where I'm just going to go for Expedition Map, and then I'm going to map for a beast, Cavern on Beast. And now even if my amulets get destroyed, if my Dryad gets destroyed, sorry, I can still Gracer. Oh, my opponent did get to use their mana. That's pretty good for them. Okay, I wonder if this is Dress Down. If this is Dress Down, that would be pretty brutal, honestly. I'll probably just lose the dress down. So this is an uncounterable Colossus. Do your thing. Oh, come on, man. I fucking hate this card. I hate this card so much. I hate that card so freaking much. All this setup to just have this stupid thing. I spent 7 mana for a 0/0 that just died. I wouldn't draw a card off of it too. 80 cards, by the way. That's one of my favorite memes now. 80 cards, by the way. There's no way I'm supposed to play around dress down, by the way. Like, there's just no way in hell that I'm supposed to play around dress down there. It's just not a reasonable thing to do, I don't think. So I think I'm just supposed to jam and just hope that my opponent doesn't. Wait, what? Spreading Seas? Okay. I mean, that's great. You just wasted a card that could potentially matter. I'm gonna haste here. Oh, wait, I can't? How come I can't haste? Really? That's how that works? Okay. I'll play my land, I guess. Joke's on you, opponent. Now I get to hold up Boseiju as well. Which means that if we do draw another Cultivator, we actually can play around dress down, which that part is nice. I wonder if my opponent is just playing straight up Bant control and they're not playing Omnath, which would be crazy to think of, but maybe it's what's up. The Fairy Time Raveler. They should bounce their Spreading Seas, I think, or bounce my Dryad. Steven, interesting. So they have counterspell for my Dryad, because last turn they also held up blue. So let's play this Cavern on Dryad. Float mana there. I guess I'm gonna play Steve first. See what my opponent does. They may counterspell this. All right. Actually, if I'm gonna kill the Fairy, I guess it's better to haste the Grazer. There's the possibility that I'm supposed to just go face there. We're in a little bit of an awkward spot, to be honest. That main deck dress down was backbreaking. Alright, opponent taps 3 mana. Let's see what they're doing. Archmage is showing my Amulet. Bad play. And I guess it takes really good play for me. So that's good. Truly fantastic play for me. Prismatic Ending, the Amulet. Okay. Play that out. They can't have Death Touch, so this way I guarantee 2 damage making it through, which is nice. They do throw away their Ice Fang, which is kind of surprising, honestly. I mean, they still have access to Yorion next turn. Supreme Verdict. Okay, sure, that's a really bad draw. So now we are in trouble. I guess I have to draw another Dryad, funnily enough. If I find another Dryad, then we may be in business. Big Teferi is brutal. Yeah, I mean, it all came down to that dress down, right? I spent 7 mana on this garbage card. Imagine if that had been a Prime Time, or imagine if that had been a Karn. I guess if that had been a Karn, that would have been counter, so I guess it's kind of the same. But yeah, I mean, I could have used my my thing in a different way. They should bounce at one of these, I think. So opponent does have counterspell in hand, I think. Bounce my Amulet. Why? It's not doing anything. You want to counter this? Really? Wow. Well, that's awesome for me. I think my opponent may not be very familiar with this matchup, or they are counterspell flooded. It's either one or the other. Because they've cared about this Yorion. They care about this Amulet so much. Also, they don't Jace Plus. Like, you're 100% supposed to Jace Plus here. At least you're supposed to Teferi Plus before Jacing. We are getting to the point where it just doesn't matter. Like, my opponent it's probably way too far ahead for me to catch back up. So, like, nothing that I do, like, it just doesn't matter what they do. Like, they can just make, they just can play every single turn terribly, and it won't matter. Like, I still won't be able to catch up to what they're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think at this point I am far behind that I'm supposed to just jam and just hope that my opponent somehow does not have a counterspell, which is very unlikely. And then I can just concede. Alright. Wow, is Cultivator Colossus a terrible card? I hate this card so much. I hate that card with a passion. Absolutely heinous card. Okay, so we get our Gracers, we have Dryad. I think we want our Craces, our Emrakul for sure. I mean, I still probably keep the Cultivators, but god damn it, do I dislike this card. This is 60. Probably want the Inferno Titans too, just because they're encounterable with Cavern. Colony can go, and maybe cut one Steve. Yeah, this seems good to me. Steve, you know, guaranteeing the land drop is actually pretty legit in a matchup like this. I don't expect my opponent to have access to very many fields or anything like that. Okay, what do we got here? I mean, we have a Cavern, we have an Amulet. I think we keep this. So turn 1, Cavern on Dryad. Play Amulet, hope to dodge Prismatic Ending. Hey, look at that. We got a classic Jellyfish Hydra Beast. Ooh, this is Beast as well? So we can just name Beast and that covers Gracer, Colossus, and Hydra Graces? That's hot. That's called synergy, you know? Working together. So Spreading Seas would suck, but if opponent does not have Spreading Seas, then this is just wild to me, man. It's crazy how much my opponent is prioritizing killing those things. So this is awkward. We have a couple of options here. I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If my opponent can blow up my Ursa Saga, we get super blown out here, but I still think it's correct for me to play out this Teleria West here and pass. What I could have done is I could have played Garrison and bounce and replay the Cavern, naming something else. Spreading Seas is devastating. Spreading Seas is absolutely devastating, unfortunately for me. So let's go float for blue. Play this. Bounce. Replay, naming Giant. And then we're going to transmute for Growth Chamber. Pretty brutal if you ask me. My opponent's hand has been lining up perfectly against mine. Play out Windswept Heath. I wonder if they're considering whether to Supreme Verdict or not. Because it's a very interesting thing, right? Like if you don't want a Supreme Verdict right now, oh, they could Teferi minus. Oh well, they're just what? Okay, I am very good. They could have just like tapped out for this and not throw away a Teferi hero. Okay, it's not bad. So let's name Dryad with this and play another one. And here I think I'm just bouncing T-West. Actually I'm gonna bounce. Let's bounce Cavern, and the reason for bouncing Cavern is so we can play around another Spreading Seas. Because if they Spreading Seas my Growth Chamber, then I can't cast Primeval Titan, and that would obviously be very bad for me. This Hydro Craze is going to be hot. So opponent can't double Snake here. They could have dress down. I'm going to attack first. Take 2. They're just 100% going to dress down here, I think. Much I can do about it. Blue-green Quaddle. That's fine. Looking for the dress down. Do you have it? No, you don't. All right, game 3. Changes. Do I want to make any changes? Still don't like this card. Let's cut that for Steve, I think. Could also cut that for Endurance, but I think Steve is better. I kind of want to bring in the island just because I think the game can potentially go pretty long and I may want to fetch it with Steve. Nah, there's no way. Boseidra is interesting for dress down. Nah, this is fine. Let's just go with this. Ugh. I mean, I'm gonna keep this hand, but like, I brought in Steve and I literally said I think the game's gonna go long. I'm gonna draw too many basics. Brutal. Also drew my 1 of Grazer. Sadness. Just pure sadness. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think we're going to play another basic forest though. Okay, so here's Steve. I'm gonna counter my man Steve. What? So if my opponent taps out now, they're gonna get pretty punished, which is nice. So I'm purposely hiding this Castle Garenbrick here. If they don't tap out, I may just not fetch with Steve. Okay, they don't. So I'm just gonna like chip in for a point of damage. Swing for 1. And now we don't have any more fetchables. Would love to find the Cavern of Souls. That would be fantastic. Glacial Floodplain. Love to see it. I think I'm just chilling here. Sure, play that out. There's no reason for me to do anything just yet. Okay. Ice Fang. I think I'd rather have the land than trade with the Ice Fang, which makes things a little bit awkward, but it's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Would really love to see a Cavern of Souls. Would really love to see a Cavern of Souls. If this is the Fairy 5, we're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Time Raveler, I don't care that. I should bounce the Ramen Growth. Or Blast also. No need to do anything with this Steve. We can cast everything we may want. Okay. So that's basically like a target for Teferi, but I still think it's better for them to just bounce the Abundant Growth, to be honest. Window's closing though. Window's kind of closing. Oh, come on. Like, I don't have that many. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yorion to hand. A plus again. I think I'm gonna fetch because I may find Cultivator, I guess. And I'm not gonna be pressuring this Teferi because the land drop matters too much. Man, that sucks. So what I can do, however, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I guess it's better for me to play Castle here. And then next turn we can Pact for Crisis. And if we Pact for Crisis, we at least draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so we draw 4. It's not bad. It's not bad. And Dress Down doesn't even affect that, which is pretty hot. Take 1. Still looking for that Cavern of Souls. Still looking for that Cavern of Souls. Make blue mana here. Okay, so let's tap all out and just draw 4 here. Just nice. All right, those are some cards. Still no Cavern of Souls. Still no Cavern of Souls. Dress Down would kill this thing, by the way. Counterspell would also. Doesn't really matter. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we draw Cavern, we can Cavern on Giant, which would be very sexy. Go down to 22. So here's Yorion. Opponent has only 3 mana left. Do we run the bluff? Do we just Summoner's Pact? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cavern of Souls. And you have to counter this. And if they counter this, we get to resolve at prime time. Spell Pierce? Well, I'm paying for that, obviously. This is at least a 2 for 1. I guess I'm not playing out. Yeah, we're not going to be playing out the Cavern, so I'm just going to play this out. Bounce. Pass the turn. Spell Pierce against me is questionable. it's a questionable choice. It's a questionable choice. So I don't think this Gracer is going to do any better than gaining me 4 life. So I think we take the chump while we can. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we can do here is now we can actually run the bluff. I guess I'm not gonna. Because opponent can have like double counterspell, they can have like Dress Down into thing. I mean, this is my opponent is drawing 3 cards every turn. Like, that's no joke. I guess 4 cards every turn, without counting the one for turn for the draw step. Took way too long to find that one. Can we draw an Eldrazi? That would be so good. Can we draw an Emrakul? We have the Emrakul, right? We definitely do. Ugh. I think we Cavern on Beast. I think I'm going to lead on Summoner's Pact because my opponent knows about the Cavern. They don't? Wow. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. 12. So if I cast a Colossus, I'm 1 mana short. If I cast a Colossus, I'm 1 mana short of casting a Primetime, which is pretty brutal. So I just can't do both. Just cannot do both. Oh, but we have Boseiju for dress down. What am I even saying? Forgot for a second that. Alright. Uncounterable Cultivator. That's a dress down. Wait for them to draw. Boseiju the dress down. Do you have another dress down? No way you have another dress down. I refuse to believe that you have another dress down. Oh, come on, opponent. You have to give me a break here. That's ridiculous. That's insane, man. Okay. Pass the turn. I could take that chance to resolve the Dryad, but like I can't even get my extra land drop. 80 cards, by the way. 80 cards, by the way. So I think this next turn we're just gonna pay for back and just Dynamic Crisis. Like we're just looking for Emrakul at this point. I think that's really the only thing that matters anymore. And I think that if I do get there, I'm gonna be in pretty good shape. So we can make 6 mana, 7, 8, 9 mana. So I guess it's better for me to use this turn to like play Growth Chamber, bounce this. Alternatively, I could Titan this turn, and then Steve doesn't do anything. Yeah, here's a Crisis, I guess. Pretty unlucky. Let's play an Amulet here, which my opponent maybe counters. I don't really care. But I think I'm gonna be playing Cultivator next turn regardless. So this way I don't go to discard. Is my opponent just not playing Solitude? There's no way my opponent's not playing Solitude. Steal my Amulet. You got it, champ. You got my Amulet. Spreading Seas. Joke's on you. I played all my beasts already. I also just realized that we have only drawn a single... We've only drawn a single Cavern Souls out of our 4, which is surprising. That's 7 damage, down to 10. We untap. Ursa Saga. Doesn't really do anything, huh? I can force my opponent to kill Steve though, which is kind of nice. Play Steve and we can haste it. I guess I should have done this differently. But I can threaten to kill Jace here, which is really funny. So I'm forcing my opponent to answer this Steve that doesn't do anything, which is hilarious. Literally no fetchables for Steve. And I'm kind of starting to believe that I'm just going to die in the air. So, play this. I needed to reset this anyways. Because I could have blown it up. I could have blown it up with Boseiju. But I don't think... Like, I would have needed to resolve this. So here we go down to 3. Man, that double dress down turn was kind of devastating. Can we please draw an Emrakul? Can we please draw a big ass Eldrazi? That would be truly delightful. Big Eldrazi. Let's go. Big Eldrazi. Huge Eldrazi. Massive Eldrazi. Without Amulet in play, unfortunately, I can't really do something too explosive. Sure. Like, it doesn't really change anything. I either top deck Emrakul or I lose because I just die to these like the flying threats. Sure. I may need to blow that up. I don't think so because I guess I can. I could still Cultivator, I guess. Let's see if my opponent does anything about this. They have to. Like, they definitely should. Counterspell. I just can't lethal without Amulet. And I don't have a way to stabilize because I'm just dying in the air. I really needed to find... Really needed to find... What's his name? 1, 2, 5, 6. Can blow up that at least. But yeah, Primeval Titan doesn't help me anymore. Like, we just took too long to get going. I guess if my opponent has absolutely nothing... Huh. I guess I fucked this up. I should have gotten Dryad first. But there's no way they don't have multiple... Oh wow, I could have drawn Inferno Titan too. I just realized that would have killed the Ice Fangs. I mean, not this past turn, but like the turn before. That's funny. Yeah, this doesn't do it though. This doesn't do it. Man, that was really close. That was really, really close. Yeah. Yorion is a messed up magic card. Yorion really is a messed up magic card. Pretty messed up. I mean, I can kill Yorion, but it doesn't do anything. I'm exactly dead. Also, I don't think this is gonna survive. I think my opponent's gonna have like a prismatic ending or something. Close game. It all came down to that dress down in game 1, to the natural dress down, and then the double dress down in this game. We can only play around so much. Opponent taps some mana and they do have the thing, I guess. Maybe they're just trying to figure out whether there's anything else I can do here. Lose 2 X-axes. Wait, what? Weird. Okay. I mean, not that it matters. Like, I'm still dead, but kind of a weird thing to do there. Wait until I kill their Yorion before they kill my Dryad. I guess they just want to kill me with 3 snakes. That's fine. All right, GG's. Maximilian Pegasus. I've been beaten. All right, match number 3. This hand is kind of cool. So we can go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Cavern, cast Steve, and then that would give me the 3rd land, and then we can Pact for Azusa if we want to, and then cast Primetime. That's hilarious. Love it. All right. Turn 1 Saga into turn 2 Cavern on Snake. Love to see it. Cavern on Snake, your go. The funniest thing, I don't need to crack Steve just yet. I can wait to see what my opponent does. Okay, I guess now that they do this, I want to crack Steve because they're holding up Bolt. So I don't want, for them to kill my Azusa. So I'm just going to make a construct. Or I can do that. I'm just going to construct. Puts a threat into play. Opponent probably doesn't want to kill it, but it's still a 2/2 that can, What is my opponent doing, by the way? Jetmir's Castle into Temple Garden. What is that even? Maybe I should have played Dryad, not get too cute. Flagstone. Blood Sun. Well, that sucks. That certainly sucks. So I guess I have to naturally draw Boseiju now, because my bounce lands don't function anymore. So my opponent's playing like Lotus Field bullshit. Okay, that's rough. The Temple Garden threw me off. Oh, well, that's a lot. All right, I like it, opponent. I like it. Second Lotus Field, Jesus. Well, now I'm dead, right? Probably can't be double Lotus Field. Chalice on my Amulet that does literally nothing with a Blood Sun in play. It's pretty funny. I'm gonna swing here. And I guess I'm just gonna crack this. We only have 1 Boseiju, so we can't get rid of both things. So at this point, I cannot play through this. So I'm just going to, I guess, they lose all abilities except mana abilities. So Valaka doesn't do anything. These doesn't do anything. So what I'm thinking here is, do I want to get T-West and just chill on it? No, because I already have Summoner's Pact in hand for cultivators. So I guess I'm just going to get the Growth Chamber. Not much else I can really do. Yeah, second Blood Sun is probably unbeatable. Oh wow. Yeah, that's a lot of mana. That's a hell of a lot of mana to exile. I think my opponent may have gone a little bit too deep. Maybe just a tad too deep. I dig it though. Like it's the kind of deck that I would probably play. I wonder what, because they're kind of going off here. Like I wonder what they're trying to achieve. Like I wonder what's the end game here. Am I just gonna get grape shotted? That would be exciting. This is the 3rd Escape to the Wilds. Carnival Creator Kenrith the Returned King. Well, we knew my opponent was going deep. I was not aware they were going that deep. But I guess that's what they're up to. Well, side really looks fairly straightforward in this matchup, I guess. I mean, obviously I'm learning as I go. Like, I didn't even know what to expect out of my opponent. But those Force of Vigors are looking really sexy. And so is Boseiju. Jeez. Like, this only nets them 2 mana. Like, it's not that good of a deal. They're just throwing away Planeswalkers. Sure. There's a land. Valakut Awakening. Okay. It's not bad. Tron 6. New cards. I just want to see the win condition. Like, I'm super intrigued to see what the win con is. Maybe like Karn minus for bridge or something? So we attack Garruk, however you say that. But the plus is still what matters, so I'm not gaining too much traction there. Here's the prime time. I'm just gonna get 2 bounce lands because it's what gives me the most mana. What else really matters. So opponents have way too high of a life total. But yeah, Valakut doesn't do anything. Now this nets a lot of mana. They do have their own prime times. Dude, I'm all about this. My opponent's deck does not seem good, but like I'm all about it. I am all about it. Like, how does my opponent beat like any deck ever? I don't care, and I don't want to find out. I don't care, and I don't want to find out. They're playing Blood Sun though, so can't be too bad against Amulet. They're gonna have like actual infinite mana next turn. Sundering Titan. All right, seen enough. Okay, give me them forces. Give me them Bosages, and I think I actually won the basic island. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. Endurance doesn't do anything. Emrakul is hot. Colossus sucks, as it often does. Bog out. I don't think I care for Crassus. Do I care for Inferno Titan? I'm kind of steep because my opponent has so many ways of taxing my basics, so I guess Crisis attacks in the air, so that's kind of exciting. This sucks. This sucks. Let's have 1 Crisis, 1 Cultivator. I guess Inferno Titan kills Planeswalkers, so that's a reason to want it. I'm not too sold on that though. Sure, keep this. A little bit of an awkward hand, but like this force, I feel like it's gonna do a lot of heavy lifting for me. Particularly because I think it's quite likely that I'm gonna get to just hardcast it. Also, Steve, truly great in this hand. Opponent moves to 5, which makes sense to me because their deck seems super clunky. Like, outrageously clunky. Yep. Just going about our business. Just going about our business. Sure. So here we get to play both things. And I'm hard casting at this point, these things, so maybe my opponent does have a sweeper, I don't know, but probably gonna find out rather soon. If they blow up the Saga, like I really don't want to see it Blood Sun here, but Wildfire, okay. I'm probably gonna fetch with Steve anyway, because any untap land or bounce land allows me to Titan here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, that's 6 mana. And here we have 1 extra land drop, so I can go 12 damage with Valakuts. And there's no way my opponent has an answer for this Primeval Titan. If I go Vesuva, it's actually less damage, oddly enough. Upstairs, yes, always healed. Okay, game 3. This just feels fine to me. Maybe another Steve over Saga. Saga Blood Sun sucks. So yeah, let's do that. And I'd rather have Cavern than Kalni Garden, I think. Yeah, this looks good. Not super sold on the Inferno Titans, but maybe they're fine. I'm gonna keep this hand. Like this could backfire so badly for me. Okay, so Cavern Beast. I'm gonna play around Wildfire, and the way to play around Wildfire is to play the Saga here. This is worse versus Blood Sun though, but I kind of have to choose what I want. All right, so my opponent most likely has Blood Sun. Oh, weird here. Well, that's devastating. All right, pass the turn. Fact is kind of awkward. Blood Sun ramps me here though, which is pretty good. Oh, just Lotus fielding the hard way, are we? Could Pact for Dryad. If I packed for Dryad, guess we don't lose. I think that's fine, even if the Dryad gets killed. And I'm playing out the Boseiju, obviously, so I don't get. Otherwise, my opponent just kills my Gruul Turf with a Wildfire and we lose. But I feel like I need to pressure. If my opponent plays a Planeswalker here, I need to be able to pressure it. So, yeah, I'm definitely happy that I play this thing. I mean, free Walker is free. If they have Molten Rain, like Stone Rain, are pretty bad for me. Sure. Here's the basic force. We pay for a Pact, which is nice. Kill Garruk. Now we're gonna play Gruul Turf, bounce and replay here. Cavern Giant. Cavern Giant, of course, cast Inferno Titan. And this Inferno Titan kills the Garruk. Once again, Cultivator will do nothing here. Absolutely nothing. Opponent can have 8 mana here. The casual 8 mana of the Garruk and Lotus Field. It's kind of a neat interaction, honestly. It's like the Teferi from the Jeskai deck, but better. But at the cost of being just in worse colors. Okay, so opponent floated some mana, makes even more mana here. Let's see what they're. Prismatic Ending into Karn. Okay. They don't have mana for coding. They do have a coding though. I could prime time here. So if I prime time, next turn I'm stuck paying for Pact. Man, I'm one off of casting this Steve. That sucks. So the good thing about casting prime time is I do get to put the Boseiju in hand, so whatever they get off the Karn, I don't care. I do think my opponent missed their land drop last turn, so I do think that I'm just gonna kill the. And this is probably gonna force my opponent to spend their turn using Karn for. Just gonna float a mana and let it go to waste. Doesn't really matter. But I really want the land to be in play in case my opponent goes for coding plus, which probably is not great because I could just kill the Karn. But well, now I'm kind of happy that I put this card in my deck because you know it was the only way of actually clocking this thing. Karn minus. I assume they're gonna get Ensnare and Bridge, and what that means is that now I get to Primeval Titan, and oh, they have Garruk. Oh, so now they get Bridge. They play it, but they don't have the mana to do the thing. So I can just now prime time, get a bounce land, bounce Boseiju, and Boseiju the Bridge, and kill both players. I guess I just get 2 bounce lands. Borders Garrison and Growth Chamber. Bounce here, bounce here, Boseiju Bridge. Garruk, deal 1 and 2. Well, this Inferno Titan is doing the thing. this bad boy is doing the thing against my opponent's deck. It's also pretty solid when your opponent's game plan is just, you know, Blood Sun. Escape to the Wilds, probably not gonna be enough, if I were to guess. Even if for whatever reason they're playing Blood Moon, which they can't really, because they play Lotus Field, we still can pay for Pact. So explore, play the Gorge. Very nice, very nice. So this is 6, 12, plus 3, 15, plus red. So I guess I can lethal them by, if my math is correct, well, never mind. I guess that makes things much easier. But I was going to Vesuva the Crumbling Vestige, which would have been really sexy. Because that would be 16 plus, you know, make red here, that's 16, 17. And then Vesuva on Crumbling Vestige would have been 18. So that would have been even better. But yeah, jeez. Alright, this hand sucks, doesn't do anything, ship it. This hand is better, and here we see the power of Cultivator Colossus making our mulligans easier by just sucking ass and being an easy card to bottom. This hand is not great, by the way, but this hand, what it does have is a lot of potential, and it has some resiliency, so those are the reasons why I'm keeping. But yeah, Colossus has been just so bad this entire league, just so bad. I honestly don't understand people wanting to main deck 2 copies of it. Like, I think I'd rather just be main decking the freaking the freaking Inferno Titan. Alright, so we're playing against Murktide, which means that hopefully we're gonna get to test the waters a little bit and see if we can see if this deck list is indeed advantaged in this matchup, if that's ever a possibility. That was a great draw, by the way. That was obviously probably the best possible draw. Probably the actual best. Opponent fetches, basic, scary, Cavern of Souls, lucky. Red, that's out. Swing for 4. Pass the turn. Opponent is holding up counter spell, but you know, if they can't break through, we can, what we just did in the previous turn, we can do over and over again. So as long as my opponent doesn't find an answer for this, we can. Interesting. Okay, so they're just trying to counter the Dryad on the way back. But if they counter Dryad, then they don't have the counter for my prime time. Still, they'd rather counter this than this. Good thing I'm playing full 4 copies of Cavern of Souls, right? Otherwise, it would be much harder to draw it. Good. The same thing happened to me in the showcase. Like, I was playing 4 Caverns main deck, never saw them. Just actually never saw them in game 1. Susa doesn't really do anything, so that's fine. Expressive iteration. So I think I'm gonna attempt to try to, because I have 3 Titans in hand, this is the sort of game where I'm just going to be basically jamming every turn, as opposed to trying to set up Cavern of Souls. Obviously, if I draw Cavern, that's easy mode, but oh wow. Well, they have to have a land, right? Or did they just tap out of counter magic? I mean, I guess they could just have Unholy Heat, right? Well, they have a land for sure, because they just cut a land. So I guess they just don't have counter magic, which is fine. I can live with that, because like if this does indeed wow. Okay, so this is gonna get Bojuki Bog and Cavern of Souls. Here's prime time. Not going for haste because of Unholy Heat, so we're just gonna do this. Cavern Giant, Bog you, pass the turn. We have enough time to. This forces the Unholy Heat, which makes it so also the Unholy Heat gets exiled, so Murktide's nowhere near. Next turn we're gonna play an Uncounterable Titan. We already have another Titan, so that new Titan that's uncounterable is actually gonna haste. Although my opponent showed me that they don't have counterspell. Ha, joke's on you, opponent. That card sucks. But yeah, very, very unimpressed by this card. And I've been for a while. I've been really unimpressed by Colossus for quite a bit now. So that changes things, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It does make hasting a little bit awkward. Because I will need to get Vesuva, or I will need to get. Oh no, that's just fine. Okay, so Cavern and Dryad. Cavern and Dryad. 1, 2, 3. Play the Dryad. Cavern on Giant. We still have 1 extra land drop, right? So we're gonna be able to get Valakut plus Boros Garrison here. Bounce this and kill my opponent. Valakut, Garrison. Face here. Assault Shield. Dress down. Auto War the Dryad. Okay, sure. What's your end game? What I want to know here is, okay, what's your next step? I bounce. I think I just want a Growth Chamber. We have no packs to pay for, so I'm just gonna do this. Here we go. What's your game plan? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, games 2 and 3. So now, bring in Island, bring in Double Boseiju, bring in Relic, Inferno Titan, Hydroid Krasis, and I think Dismember. Cut this card because it's garbage. We can cut a couple of Sagas on the draw. I could see myself kind of like an Amulet or something. Cut Castle. Cut a Summoner's Pact because I'm bringing in Krasis and Inferno Titans. I don't want to be threat flooded. Steve's so good here. Crumbling Vestige, maybe? Colony Garden is another potential cut. It does chump the monkey, though. Cutting Dryad is also interesting. Expedition map. We just got all the sagas. Maybe we just got all the sagas. I don't think I want it. We can probably cut one amulet. Endurance is interesting. Maybe we want the first copy over the Dryad. Like, the first copy seems actually quite strong. Expedition map? That one's sketchy, but I think it's probably fine. I guess. I mean, this is the game plan, isn't it? This is the freaking game plan. This is the dream. This is the dream right here. This is the dream. Oh, they have DRC, sweet. So good thing that I brought in Endurance. That's a crisis. So here's a basic forest. Hey, go. If they don't hold up Counterspell, I can just play Steve and not waste this Cavern of Souls. Okay, I'm just gonna name Snake. I can't have my opponent counter my ramp. Next turn we get to Cruel Turf and reset. If they attack with DRC, I still don't. Cavern of Souls is interesting. So I'm just gonna chill on this Steve because my opponent could dash Monkey. And also my opponent, like, they really don't want to kill this Steve, right? So it's a really funny dynamic. Brazen Borer. That's pretty good. Drawing 2 there. Being Murktide. Interesting. I imagine just to enable Delirium. I guess if they tap out, I can Crisis for 3. Again, like, I can, you know, hold up, what's his name, so, for Monkey. 3 mana, Blood Moon. I think I mean, I guess we can Crisis next turn, huh? Dash Monkey, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, actually, better than Crisis next turn is Inferno Titan next turn, right? Probably gonna go for that. That sounds good. Okay, so that goes up. Actually, no. I think I'd rather. I'm cracking this because otherwise they can just kill me. But yeah, I'm cracking here, and I think we're just gonna name Giant here. Kill this. Opponent knows about the Cavern, so if I lead on back, they're probably gonna just counter it. Cavern on Giant. Red. Sup. Sup. I might just put in 3 points here. There's no way, right? We know one of their cards in hand is a Monkey. Dress down. They may actually get away with this, because like this is going to now. Yeah, they may actually get away with this. Like, if they have like Consider or something, they enable Delirium, they hit this, and yeah, wow. Well, Inferno Titan sucks then, I guess. Clearly a terrible card. They kept on top, so I'm assuming that they found another Moon Effect or Iteration. It's also a good one. Also, this is Delirium, right? I could Exile and Holy Heat. I could Pact for Endurance. Nah. Because this means that they can't Blood Moon here, right? No, I guess they didn't play land, so technically they could Blood Moon here. Yeah, never mind. Maybe I was supposed to dash Monkey. So I'm just gonna Pact, I guess. That's gonna bait out the counter spell. So they have to counter this. Unless they have another Dress Down, which would honestly be quite terrible for me. They do have Counterspell. So if I Crisis, which I am going to, I can only Crisis for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can only Crisis for 4, which is good enough for this. But because of Monkey, I think I'm going to Gracer as well. So play Gracer, and like it dies to hit regardless, right? So we're just gonna draw 2 here, which is not the most impressive thing. It's not the worst. Oh hey, look at that, it got a lot better. So 4/4 though, so it does block Darcy pretty nicely. They could have heat, but if they hit this, then they can't hit this. Also, we have Gracer and Plant Token to block Monkey, which is nice. Steve looked quite impressive. Did like Steve a lot. So I guess Subtlety or Bust is the name of the game here. We know one card is Ragavan, right? So they need to have exactly Subtlety. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I guess we do that. I guess we do that. Subtlety plus blue card? Is that what you got? Nope. That's not what you got. So Valakut and I guess we unfortunately drew the bog. Oh no, I guess we still have one land drop, don't we? Yeah, I think so. So let's go Valakut, bounce land. Because we whoops, I mean oof, I almost misclicked. Oof, almost misclicked there. Bounce this. Oh, did I have lethal? I think I have lethal and I just missed it. I mean, I don't think it matters. I think that we are successfully too far ahead. But I think I did miss. I could have gotten 2 Valakuts and then just play Bujuk Bog. Would have been good. So yeah, miss lethal there. Doesn't matter. That did look pretty solid there. That did look rather solid. Like Steve was huge. Uncounterable when my opponent was holding up counterspell on turn 2. Uncounterable ramp that set up my thing. Wow. Kind of huge, honestly. So here we're just gonna serve with the prime time. Opponent's mana is pretty limited, but Dryad blocks Monkey. Dress down. I'm still attacking. Next turn they have to play Monkey as a champ blocker. I think they should not have dressed down there. Okay. I'm definitely blocking here. It's actually, maybe I should not have blocked because that enables Delirium potentially. But I guess if they kill this, they don't kill this, right? Okay, yeah. That looked pretty good. I'm gonna say that looked pretty good. Not gonna lie. Last round. This has been long. This has been a long league. I think we've been on the play every single time, have we? In any case, this hand looks good. It's a potential turn. Like, we're only any land away from a turn 3 Titan. A turn 4 Titan with turn 3 Dryad, so it's good enough for me. And I think I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 as opposed to 1, 2, 3. The reason for that is that we get to hold the bounce land in case we draw Amulet. Can't even finish my sentences before I make the right play. Breeding Pool tapped go. Living End with a bad hand? That's Temur. But red mana is probably not. So Rhinos? Oh, Ren 6. Okay, never mind. So interesting. Is this Scapeshift? Because it's Ren. It's turned to Ren of Temur mana, but without Revealing Companion. Could also be like some sort of control deck. If my opponent passes the turn, I may consider. So they fetched for basic forest and then Ren plussed. Oh, there you go. That makes things significantly easier. And we also get to haste using Valakut, which is very nice. So, giant, float mana. I'm gonna bounce the Grow Turf here. Here's prime time. Dress down. So we're gonna get Valakut and Slayer Stronghold. One of those there, and I guess I'm just gonna kill the Ren. Like, if these don't die, my opponent is dead regardless, so might as well get rid of their threat. Red, white, and haste. Serve. No snake to worry about, by the way. Here's a Valakut, here's a Growth Chamber. And here are some triggers. Alright, so Temur control, I guess? This looks good. These are probably good. Dress down, likely in my future. This card is just not where it's at, huh? So I don't really know what to expect from what my opponent's doing, which is kind of awkward. Like, are they playing Monkey? Are they playing Tarmogoyf? Are they playing Magus of the Moon? Probably. If they're playing Magus, I guess I want this and I don't want that. Do I want Emrakul? Probably, I guess. If they're playing Magus, I guess I don't expect Saga to be good. We can cut one Saga preemptively. Maybe bring in another Boseiju, cut Castle Garenbrig. I feel like I need more information in order to properly sideboard, so I'm just going to be doing a lot of guessing here. A lot of guessing. I'm going to go with this, but like it's very, very likely that this is just incorrect. But I honestly don't know what my opponent's doing, so. Opponent presents the 62 card deck. So I guess it's likely that they're on Scapeshift. And if they're on Scapeshift, then I don't want any of these. Like, this hand sucks regardless. This one also sucks. This one also sucks, but we're on 5. So I don't think this is better than, I think this is better than a 4, than a random 4. So I guess we do that. We can also hedge against, I'm gonna get got by Blood Moon like this, but again, like I have no idea what, like I don't have enough information to know what we're supposed to do here. Cavern on Beast, Grazer, play Growth Chamber, say go. This allows me to play a 3-drop if I draw one. If I play a 3-drop here, like this hand is just an absolute banger. Steam Vents, Shock. That's potentially a counterspell, right? 3-drop, be sick. Oh, Fire Ice. I'm gonna sit on that for a second. I guess I don't have to do anything here. Blood Moon would obviously be devastating here, but I'm kind of starting to believe that my opponent's on BTL Scapeshift, which means my Cyberling is just garbage. Which means my Cyberling is absolute trash. 3rd Steam Vents. Interesting. Well, Susa's great. So play that. Cavern on Giant. Play Bog. Bog you. Play this. Bounce Cavern, I guess. Because it's the only untapped source. Pass the turn. Again, no idea what my opponent's up to, so I can't really attack with Grazer. Rough. Hate when that happens. Growth Spiral. Opponent has to be playing. And I'm gonna be missing that Radiant Fountain so much when my opponent shocks me with a freaking Fire and Ice and I lose 2 Xaxes. I'm gonna hate that so much. I think opponent's wondering whether to kill this or to dress down. I'm like, okay. No extra land for me, I guess. Still gonna play this out. And I do think I named Giant here. So I set up the next one. I could Cavern on Dryad? Yeah, let's Cavern on Dryad instead. Yeah, let's Cavern on Dryad. I may get punished by that. Maybe I'm supposed to just hold on to the Cavern. But the end step dress down is kind of interesting. My opponent's trying to prevent me from drawing the extra, from playing the extra land drops, but like I have 1 card in hand. So if I have more lands, kind of in trouble. Growth Spiral, got it. Landscape Shift. So what that's going to do is it's going to kill my Primetime and then like face me for a bunch. I can't haste unless I draw an untapped source. If I draw an untapped source, I can haste, which is... No, actually I can't. It is Scapeshift. Alright, so my Cyberling is so fucked up. I guess depending on what they do, I can gain some amount of life. Because this is going to be exactly 18, so they can't lethal me. Oh, you have to sack that Scalding Tarn opponent, yeah. Man, I have not seen Scapeshift in a minute. It's kind of neat. Just bringing back a classic archetype. I consider using doing Scapeshift for fine wine or milk. Maybe it's just fine. Although I would imagine that this deck is just not playing Cryptic Commands anymore, which saddens me to no end. So they're gonna kill the Primetime, and so if I draw Amulet, I win. Oh, they're gonna kill my Asusa too. Okay, not killing my Grazer. That is respect. Amulet. It's not an Amulet. Well, I can't gain life, so there's nothing I can do about that. I'm at 11, 3, 4. If I packed for Dryad, doesn't really do anything. Can only deal 6, so I think I'd rather pack for Primetime and set up the next one. Could pack for Crisis and draw like 1, 2 cards. That sucks. Yeah, I think this is the best I can do. Just gonna do T-West Growth Chamber, and I guess I want to play this out. Do I? Next turn I pay for Pact. I transmit. Yeah, I have to, because otherwise I can't transmit for Dryad. Just gonna bounce the untap land. Alright, opponent. Don't Scapeshift me again. So this is 10 mountains. I have to assume that my opponent has at least 1 or 2 more mountains. At least 1 or 2. 3 mana for Dryad. Well, that's a lot of mountains. Okay, it looks like they don't have enough to kill me. So if we draw a Valakut or Vesuva or a Dryad itself, Lightning Bolt my Primetime. So they couldn't find another land. Wait, what? Was that lethal? I don't think so. But if we draw any land, at least we can kill this. Now you show up? God damn it. Would have been able to lethal them this turn. But yeah, I can go get Dryad, but I only get one Valaka trigger. Bring opponent to 11. Do I have to do that? Because I'm paying for a pack next turn. I think I'm just going to transmute, play out the Amulet and say go. And hope that I'm not dead. And if I'm not dead, maybe I have a shot. But if I just packed and played the Dryad, I don't think I can really win. Okay. So my sideboard is going to be significantly different. This comes in. This comes in. These come out right here. This comes out. Amulet comes back in. Gracers come back in. Dismember comes in. Probably Force of Vigor. Crisis and Emrakul. Not going to have time for that. And Box sucks. Kessler Granrick's probably just fine. And Islands can. So I think I like this a lot better. Don't care for that. I still don't think Colossus does anything. They showed me Dress Down. We're gonna go with this. Sure. Okay. So this hand is pretty fast, which I like. All it needs is a Primeval Titan, but this is a turn 3 Primetime with turn 2 Dryad, which is obviously very good. So it's just a matter of drawing the Primetime? Primetime one time? Negative. Again, playing out the Gruul Turf so I can... I have Titan mana next turn. Any untap land would have done that. So now I just have to draw Primeval Titan. T-West sort of also does it. It's probably my opponent tapping down one of my lands. Fine. Bolt. Okay, I'm okay with that. Still gotta draw the Primetime. It's not a prime. We do have Boseiju, which is kind of nice. Or potentially nice, I should say. Not necessarily nice just yet. That's a Dryad. I think I'm gonna force here. It uses my mana. And if I draw Primetime, I'm gonna be tapped out. And it also prevents my opponent from ramping. Primetime. It's not the worst, but it also is the worst. We still have Boseiju if they have another Dryad if we need to do it, but I'd very much rather not have to. Primeval Titan, one time. Maybe they have their own force or something. Fire Ice. Ice my Saga. Sure. I guess they have a slow hand, because... Well, if they're icing Sagas, I'm gonna Vesuva this Saga right here. And we're gonna start to put pressure through Construct tokens, which is really bad against Dress Down. Opponent fetches for a basic, which is interesting. What is this? Force of Vigor? Good times, good times. Sure. So this happened. Sometimes you're just not meant to win the game, you know? Sometimes you're just meant to win. It's not my game to win this one. Primeval Titan. Nope. Putting out the 2 cards in hand, but, you know, they're only Scapeshift away from winning. And that is very good. Yo, maybe Scapeshift has been great all along, and people just don't know. Nobody knows that Scapeshift's sick. Can I please draw something? Please. I mean, I knew that this could happen when I get the hand, right? Like, it sucks, but it's sort of what I signed up for. This is remarkable, though. Like, 9 draws. I guess 8 draws, because I was on the play. And nothing. Just literally nothing. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Perfect. So that's going to be great next turn. Until then, we shall wait. Well, my opponent's not drawing well either, I guess. Dude. Oh my god. That is devastating. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Remand. Okay. Cast it again. Sure. So here's Primetime. 1, 2, 3, 4. They could have Dressed Down here. There's many things. Yep. I have indeed been got. One mana short, by the way, of blowing that up with Boseiju, but it is what it is. My dead opponent? Were you able to find the Scapeshift? We're just getting slow rolled. Have I been getting slow rolled along? No. Ow. This is kind of wild, actually. 2, 4. Oh my god. So they could have Fire and Ice here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm just gonna move to combat because I think my opponent could have Fire and Ice here. In fact, I think it's quite likely they have it dressed down. That one we actually can beat. First, wait for them to draw a card. So you do that. And unfortunately, if they do have Fire and Ice here, we're just destroyed because like we just can't do that. Like once I attack, the Titan's not gonna, the trigger's not gonna go on the stack. So I'm just kind of, this is just what it is. Like I can't do anything about it. So if they have Fire Ice here, we get super blown out, but there's nothing I can do about it. So now we do have a question. We can go either Valakut plus Boseiju, or I can go Boseiju Bounce Land. I think I'm gonna be a coward, and I'm gonna play around my opponent having something, and I'm gonna go Boseiju Bounce Land. The problem is if my opponent does have, if they did draw the Scapeshift, then we're gonna be in very bad I mean, I guess if they draw a Scapeshift, I'm dead regardless, right? Because I can't kill them. I cannot assemble lethal. I guess I can go Valakut, Pact for Dryad, play Dryad, 6+. I mean, I technically do have lethal, but I do lose to Force. My opponent's Boseiju. So what do I think is more likely? That my opponent has an answer to the Dryad, or that they have an actual Scapeshift? The thing is that if they don't have Scapeshift, then I win. I just get another attack, right? So I set up another Dryad. So I think I'm gonna go for that with Valakut, actually. I think this is just the right play. And now we pact. We're gonna pact for Dryad. It's pretty remarkable how poorly both my opponent and I drew. So this is technically lethal because I've not used any land drop this turn. And I think it's correct for me to go for this, as opposed to getting Boseiju Bounce Land, because Boseiju Bounce Land kills this, but that's it. And if my opponent does have Valakut, we just lose. So I think it's better for me to just attempt to go for lethal and hope that somehow my opponent doesn't have it, which is not particularly likely, but if it does happen, then I do. That's kind of incredible. Like, we both drew like trash. Wow. I have to say that even though the deck is very, very unconventional, and we did play against very unconventional decks today, it felt pretty solid. It felt pretty solid overall. Obviously, this card was trash the entire league. It just was not good a single time. I think that this card is wildly, wildly overblown. But like the Hydra Crisis was surprising. Like it was actually very, like it was a cohesive game plan that it did exactly what we were expecting it to do versus, and we did get paired against Murktide, and the sideboard plan against Murktide worked just fantastic. Like it was, everything that we wanted to happen is exactly what ended up happening. So that was pretty neat. Like I'm surprised that it worked out so smoothly, honestly. So maybe there's something here. I was super into the Steves, by the way. Like, Steve did so much work this league, and with Blood Moon being as prominent as it is, like, Steve is just really, really good at doing what we wanted to do. The sideboard island is very, very 5-head. So I don't know if that may be a little bit too much. So I'm wondering whether this is where we want to be. If it is, then excellent. Like, we already have the game plan figured out. But if it is not, then we could potentially do something else with these slots. I do think the Emrakul is just like a little bit too much. Sure, like it would have won the only match that we lost would have been won by the Emrakul, but like I feel like, you know, things really didn't go my way that much. So I don't think that we need to really work that too much into the equation. I do think that our curve was very, very high very often. So that suggests that something could and probably should potentially be done about it. Like, I would not be surprised if this should just be another Azusa. Basically, literally anything at all. But yeah, if we have another Azusa here, if you really want to play two cultivators, you can play the Signal Combi, the sideboard. You cut the Emrakul maybe. The Inferno Titans are maybe a little bit too much. Like, they were cool, and they were, when we drew them, they were fine, but as a non-pactable threat, sure, it can be cast under Blood Moon, but it's a little bit sketchy. Like, I'm not sold on them. I'm down to trying them a little bit more, but I'm definitely not sold on them. And I'm a little bit more interested in doing something like extra copies of Endurance with how good Living End is. Like, I'm kind of scared of Living End right now. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But the shell overall was pretty impressive. Like, it looked very, very good. Radiant Fountain versus Colony Garden. I don't know. I think Radiant Fountain is just better than Colony. I miss Colony, but this card's just not where it's at. It just isn't anymore. So not super into it, and I'd much rather be able to actually gain life so we can get out of, you know, when we're getting raised in the air. You know, that's the most concerning thing. Like, 2 or 4 life can potentially buy us a whole nother turn. So when you're, you know, getting raised in the air by like Murktides and whatnots, Conley just doesn't cut it. Even when we just got paired against Scapeshift, right? Like, obviously that matchup was really weird. Like, it ended up playing super weird. Like, both of us got super unlucky for infinite time. So it played out not in the most obvious or most expected way, but I'm also somewhat interested in adding another Boseiju to the main deck. Like, multiple times, I think that the second Boseiju would have been pretty solid. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. But I'm excited. I'm kind of excited by how well this worked out. So I will probably continue working on it. Hopefully you enjoyed this league. If you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're interested in supporting the channel through Patreon, through MetaFight for coaching sessions, through donations for leagues for me to play with your deck list of choice, all that information is in the description of the video down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.